the election to the post of the Congress president. So the big question is, will the new president work with or work for the Gandhis? I pose these and many more questions to Mr. P Chidambaram in this exclusive interview because he was the first one to vote today. Let's listen into this conversation. So elections to the post of the Congress president is now over. The election process is over. The voting is over and the counting is going to take place in a few days from now. But apart from being the former finance minister, there is another achievement that we would like to talk about here as we introduce Mr. P Chidambaram. You were the first voter today.
I believe so. I was there at 9:45, and when the voting opened at 10 o'clock, the election authority said you can vote. We were three of us there, so I voted first.
What does this mean, this whole process mean, Mr. Chidambaram?
See, this process, according to me, means that we are opening up the party to new people. I'm not so concerned about the voting for the Congress president, but eventually I think this will percolate down to voting for the working committee, voting for the PCC president, and voting for the DCC president and the bloc president. I think if this percolates down to voting at the lowest unit, namely the bloc Congress committee, that will open up the party to a large number of new people to join the party.
Now, there is one criticism that often comes the way of the Congress party, and that is you carry out whatever exercise of inner party democracy, elections. Ultimately, the decision is going to rest at the doorstep of 10 Janpath or the Gandhi family.
No, this is a stock criticism. The Gandhis have made it clear that they have no official candidate and anybody can contest. Let's assume that this first election, the Gandhis will still have a great degree of influence in the running of the party at the national level. But when it percolates down, are you suggesting that the Gandhis or whoever of the Gandhi family will have an influence over the bloc committee decision or the district committee decision? So I'm looking at it from a longer term. This is the beginning, and I hope that the new Congress president will ensure that all future committees are constituted through elections.
Mr. Chidambaram, how does this process help, say, a party as old as the Congress party? Because we see that no other party has held elections for the post of the president. Even the Congress party is holding it after 22 years, more than 2 decades.
No other party will, because the way of functioning political parties in this country is to forge consensus. We've had, according to some report, 6 elections in the last several decades. I think the most famous one was between Pattabhi Sitaramaiah and Subhash Chandra Bose. Now, therefore, it has captured the imagination of the media, of the people, that the Congress party is holding an election. But no other party can utter a word of criticism against the Congress party because no other party holds an election. Therefore, we have made a beginning. I'm not saying this is perfect. Nobody says this is perfect. But this is a good beginning, and this will percolate, I hope.
Now, Mr. Chidambaram, in the case of these two candidates, both very able, they both congratulated one another also this morning. But again, there is an allegation that one person is a more of a Sarkari candidate with the backing of the top leadership, and the other is doing his own thing to be a contender.
See, we are not in Sarkar, so why do you call us?
No, Sarkari in the sense with the backing and the blessing of the
of the that leadership. Is imputed. That is suggested. I won't comment on that. But clearly, the overwhelming majority of the top leaders of the party at the national level and the state level did support Mr. Kharge. I think Mr. Tharoor is aware of that. Yet, I congratulate him for not withdrawing his candidature and contesting and seeing it through until the last vote.
Now, Mr. Chidambaram, you see, let's say, for instance, one of these people, I don't know the result, but come counting day, one person is elected the new Congress president. Do you think that the people in the party and all those who seek a decision would treat the decision of the Congress president as final, or will they again look at the Gandhis to be, that sort of a supreme court in their life, that some decision can be taken by someone, but the supreme leader's decision will be final?
See, this is again assuming that there are only major cataclysmic decisions to be taken. There are a number of routine decisions have to be taken. For example, people have completed 3 years or 5 years in a post. A decision has to be taken whether the block committee president or the district committee president will be replaced. I have pending requests. There are disciplinary actions which are pending against people who voted or worked against the official candidate in the last parliament election and the last assembly election. Those decisions are held up today because there is no one sitting in the office and looking at it in an administrative sense. So I think whoever wins, I know who will win, but be that as it may. Whoever wins, I hope that 90-95% of the administrative managerial decisions will all be taken in time under the authority of the Congress president. Yes, of course, the major decisions would have to involve other leaders, the Congress Working Committee, if there is a parliamentary board, the Congress Parliamentary Board, and in which the Gandhis will surely be represented. How can you imagine that the Gandhis post today will vanish from the Congress Working Committee or the Parliamentary Board if one is constituted? The Gandhis will be there, and I think that is the right thing to do. The Gandhis will have a view, and I think the new Congress president must take into account their views.
But Mr. Chidambaram, see, one thing is for them to have a view, and the other is to be to exert that view and be exacting about it.
This is a suspicion. This is a suspicion. You are suspecting the word of the Gandhis. I don't. I accept it at face value. They said, whoever is the Congress president, we are willing to work with him.
And you are pretty sure it's not going to be the other way around, that whoever is the Congress president will have to work with the Gandhis.
He has to work with the Gandhis. He has to work with the state leaders. See, for example, let me tell you. Let me give you an example. Suppose he is taking a decision on Karnataka. Can he ignore the views of Siddaramaiah ji and D.K. Shivakumar ji? He can't. If you're taking a decision about Madhya Pradesh, whether they are in the working committee or parliamentary board, can you ignore the views of Digvijay Singh ji and Kamal Nath ji? So I think you have to treat the matter as a major change that has happened after, as I said, 22 years. But that's a welcome change, and I'm sure the new Congress president will learn to work with everybody, and everybody else will learn to work with him.
How many times have you voted in this internal democratic process?
You see, I voted when Indira Gandhi was challenged way back. But in the next two elections, you remember, Mr. Moopanar had formed his own TMC.
Correct.
So between 1996
Tamil Manila
and
Congress.
Tamil Manila Congress, between 1996 and I think 2001 or 2, there were two elections. So I didn't vote there, but although we called ourselves Tamil Manila Congress, nobody considered ourselves as a rebel outfit. We were rebelling only against Mr. Narasimha Rao. So I was watching it closely. But I have voted in the election which Indira Gandhi contested, and somebody contested against her.